So in this session, we will be going ahead with the last section of our module 1, very simplest section and interesting as well. So this is our module 1, the last section, section D, okay, which is called as small signal operation and models. Small signal operation, small signal operation and models. Small signal operation and models. Okay. So what is that we are going to study in this particular bit? So to be frankly speaking, we will be working on only one concept, that is nothing but modeling of our MOSFET to work like an amplifier. So we are just going to build an model of our MOSFET, okay, an equivalent circuit model. It's how I can best pronounce it. Equivalent circuit model of a MOSFET working like an amplifier. Okay. So in this prospect, the first step that we would like to do over here is that once if we consider our MOSFET model, okay, once if you consider a MOSFET model, we'll have an DC analysis and an AC analysis. Okay, because whenever I want to operate my MOSFET working like an amplifier, I'll be having the biasing voltage which sets the Q point. And second thing, I need to apply a small input signal which has to be amplified onto the drain terminal. Okay, so before going for the application prospect, so we'll be more concentrating about the DC analysis and AC analysis. Then next we'll go for the modeling of our MOSFET working like an amplifier. Okay, so now we will consider an conceptual amplifier circuit, a simple basic conceptual amplifier circuit. So let me say this is my conceptual amplifier circuit, a MOSFET amplifier circuit, a conceptual MOSFET amplifier circuit. Okay, so we know how to put the circuit diagram, wherein we'll be having this as the gate terminal. Okay, this is my drain, the source. This is how I represent my MOSFET. Okay, the three terminals of my MOSFET representing drain terminal, sorry, the gate terminal, drain terminal, and the source terminal. Right? So in a conceptual circuit, what we have done? So we had connected drain to the positive source plus VDD. Then I was having the resistance called as RD, and the current that flows to this terminal is the current ID, and this terminal will be connected to the ground. Right? Then next I have to apply some gate to source voltage, the biasing voltage. So I'll be having a DC voltage. I'll be having a DC voltage. So this is set to be as VGS. I hope you know or you remember the notation that we had discussed it for a transistor, wherein if I'm writing a capital V, this indicates a DC term. This indicates a DC term. If I write a small v, this indicates an AC term. If I write small v and capital subscripts, they are called subscripts. If I write capital subscripts, this indicates it's a combination of AC and DC. It's a combination of AC and DC. So over here, the superscript is also capital and subscript is also capital. So it means this is a pure DC component. Okay, so this is how I'm having my DC circuit, which sets the Q point or an operating point for my MOSFET. Now I want to apply an AC signal which has to be amplified at my drain terminal. So this is my VD, or an output where I'm going to measure the potential at this terminal with respect to the ground. Okay, and here I'll be having my output terminal. Here I'll be having my output. Sorry, here I'll be having my input signal. So this is my input signal, which I say this as VGS, an input AC signal. The total voltage, positive to negative, the total voltage, which is a superimposed AC signal on a DC signal. So that I can represent over here as VGS. Okay. Now, what's the important thing that we people need to remember over here is in this circuit or in this explanation is that in case when I'm using my MOSFET, whenever I'm using my MOSFET to work like an amplifier, whenever I'm using my MOSFET to work like an amplifier, I should see to that my MOSFET is being biased such that it is in saturation region, Understanding? Okay, so don't get confused. So when you go to your transistor, when you want your transistor to operate as an amplifier, you operate it in active region. But when you want to, whenever you want your MOSFET to work like an amplifier, you will operate that into your saturation region. Okay, then whatever the input you apply to your amplifier circuit, so this input will be a small signal. This input will be a small signal. I'll make you understand the term, what's the meaning of the small signal. So in general, if at all, if I want to speak something about the small signal, then it means it's a signal whose potential will be in the band of millivolts. Such signals are said to be as small signals. When I say the term large signals, it means its potential will be in terms of volts. And whenever I work on these large signals, the amplifiers, whatever I'm going to use, they are said to be as power amplifiers. So this we are going to study in upcoming module. So our basic concentration is on this topic, small signal analysis of my MOSFET working like an amplifier. Okay, is it clear to you? So now what we'll do over here is, as we know that we have biased our MOSFET with the help of this DC source, and I have set one operating point. Okay, and this is my input signal which I have applied to my MOSFET so that I can get an amplified output on this drain terminal. Now, what is that you people need to remember over here is your input signal, your small signal to be specific, is superimposed on a DC signal. Your input signal is superimposed on your DC signal. It simply means to say, even on case of your output, whenever you are going to get an AC signal, it also will be superimposed on your DC signal. So let us work on what is a DC biasing point, what's a DC circuit or a DC biasing point for this particular network. Okay, so we'll work on DC bias point. Now, what I'm going to do is, when I'm saying that I want to work on a DC circuit, it simply means to say, in my circuit diagram, I'm going to make my AC signal 0. I'm not going to consider this AC signal. Okay, so it means I'm going to have only my DC source and DC biasing voltage. So both this VGS and VDD, they represent my DC biasing voltage. So in case of this DC bias point, okay, I'm going to make my input signal VGS is equal to 0. So this is nothing but my input signal, input small signal. Okay, to be more specific, input small signal. I'm going to make this as 0. Okay, now when my VGS is 0, I would like to know that what is my drain current. So this drain current ID, as you're able to see here, this is capital I and capital D. It means this is talking about a DC current, which is because of my VDD, because of my VDD. So because of my DC voltage, I'm going to get this drain current, So I would like to know what is the amount of the drain current into my network. Then I can write this as ID is equals to 1 by 2 times that of Kn or Kn dash is up to you people into VGS minus VT the whole square. VT the whole square. Now I also know that this VGS minus VT is also called as overdrive voltage. Okay, it's also called as overdrive voltage. Then how best I can write this? I can write this as my ID is equals to 1 by 2 times that of Kn into VOV whole square. VOV whole square. Okay. Now, what is that I'm going to assume over here is my lambda is equals to 0. What is this lambda actually? So this lambda is indicating about the channel length modulation. It is indicating about channel length modulation. Okay, my channel length modulation. Since my lambda is 0, I'm neglecting the effect of channel length modulation. So it is not having any impact on this drain current. Okay. Now I would like to know that what's the potential between my drain to source. Okay, I simply mean to say what is my intention over here is, so for this MOSFET, I have applied the biasing voltage VDD and also the biasing voltage VGS. So because of which a Q point is being set for this particular MOSFET, an operating point is being set for this MOSFET. Okay, now I want to know what is this VDS. Even you can call it as VD, node potential, or even VDS, potential between drain and source. Okay, so this is your drain terminal, your source terminal, and this is your gate terminal. So this potential you want to know. So how can I write this potential? So potential at the point of drain with respect to source is nothing but your VDD minus the voltage drop that occurs across your resistance RD. So how I can write this? I can simply write this as VDS is equals to VDD minus ID into RD minus ID into RD. Okay. Now, what is that I need to make sure over here is my VDD has to be much greater than that of VOV. Why so? If at all my VDD is much greater than that of VOV, it means my MOSFET is in saturation. My MOSFET is in saturation. It means now it is ready to amplify my input signal. I hope you're able to understand this. This is a condition that you people have to satisfy when you're using your MOSFET to work like an amplifier. Your VDD, this potential, VDD, has to be much greater than that of your VOV, the overdrive voltage. So what is your VOV? VOV is VGS minus VT. VGS minus VT. So it has to be greater than that of your VGS minus VT. Okay, so this is what you people have to analyze in case of your DC analysis. So this is what you're getting your output voltage, which is nothing but your VDD minus ID RD. Okay, so now when you are expecting that your VDD is much greater than that of VOV, your default making sure that your MOSFET is operating into an saturation region. Okay, and one more thing that you can do over here is when your VDS, I'll just write it over here, whenever your VDS is much greater than that of your VOV, it means to say that you are going to get a proper voltage swing on the output terminal. You're going to get a proper output voltage swing on your output terminal. I'll illustrate these two concepts graphically in upcoming session, in this session itself. Okay, at the later part, after covering all the DC analysis, okay, I'll work on the graphical representation of this concept, that we come to know that why my VDS has to be much greater than that of VOV, and also why my VDD has to be much greater than that of VOV. If VDD is much greater than that of VOV, it means my MOSFET is in saturation. If my VDS is much greater than that of VOV, it means I'm going to get a good desired output voltage swing, on my output terminal, Okay, so this was about your DC bias point with respect to your MOSFET. Okay, so now we would like to work about this circuit wherein I'm having both DC and AC signal, and I would like to know what's the signal current at the drain terminal. What is the level of the signal current? What is the level of the signal current at the drain terminal? At the drain terminal. I simply need to say, what's that? My point of view now over here is, now here I'm getting some output, right? Here I'm getting some output. Now I want to know that how is my output signal? So if at all, if I'm applying some small signal input at my input port, how large is my output signal? How large is my output signal, and what are its specifications in relation to your input. So this is what I want to make the analysis. It's a complete circuit analysis, so including both the DC as well as the AC. Okay, so this is my circuit once again for my interaction. Okay, so now what we'll do over here is, when the input signal VGS is being applied to the circuit, I simply need to say I'm applying my input signal, which was 0 in the previous case, but now I'm considering its presence, I'm considering its effect. So whenever this VGS signal is present in my circuit, when my VGS signal is present into my circuit, I'll write it on a fresh page so it will not be confused. Okay, so we're discussing the concept called as a signal current. Signal current in the drain terminal or at the drain terminal. At the drain terminal. Okay, so when the input signal VGS is being applied, when the input signal VGS is being applied, okay, so it leads to an instantaneous voltage signal at the input. Okay, so I'm having this VGS signal. This signal is included in the circuit, so that leads to an instantaneous voltage signal VGS. So how I can write this VGS? So I can write this VGS as V capital GS, indicating it's a combination of AC and DC component, saying that I'm having a DC component VGS plus a pure AC component VGS. I hope you're able to understand this. Now I'll ask you a question so that I'll get confirmation that your people are able to understand what I am interacting with you. What is this VGS? What component do you call this term? What this term is indicating? Yes, answer in the group chat. What is this term indicating? Good. So this term is indicating an DC term. And what is this term indicating? It is indicating an AC term. Okay, good. And what is this indicating? Yeah, VGS. What is this indicating? Yes, what is this indicating? Instead of saying that combination of AC-DC or both AC-DC, what best you people can say is your AC signal is superimposed on your DC signal. It's how you people have to answer this statement. You people should be able to say that your AC signal is superimposed on your DC signal. Okay, your AC signal is superimposed on your DC signal. Fine. So once you are able to understand this, I can simply say that, considering this as my equation 1, now I would like to know what is the drain current because of this VGS. It is an AC component, but having also DC component. So I'm writing here I small d capital combination of AC DC. Then I can say that ID is equals to 1 by 2 times that of Kn into VGS. Okay, so this is your DC voltage plus VGS, which is our AC voltage, minus VT whole square. Am I right? Now, once if I write this term, I'm going to expand it. So in the previous case also you have done it. Given a term, we can expand it into your expansion series using the expansion series. Then I can simply write this equation as my ID is equals to this term 1 by 2 times that of Kn into this DC term VGS minus VT whole square plus Kn VGS. Okay, so this VGS is once again DC term minus VT the whole square into VGS. This is AC term. Okay, this is an AC term plus 1 by 2 times that of Kn into VGS square. So I'll explain you how I'm writing this term. It is A plus B minus C the whole square. So this particular term I am expanding it using the expansion series. So this is a resultant equation what I'm having. So I'll make you understand what is each of the three terms indicating. So let me say that this is my term 1, this is my term 2, and this is my term 3. The three lines which have been drawn below the equation. This is my term 1. I'll call term 1. This I'll call it as term 2. And this I'll call it as term 3. So this term 1, if you see here, 1 by 2 terms of Kn VGS minus VT the whole square. What it is indicating? What kind of a term I can call it as? Answer me in the group chat. What kind of a term I can call this as? Come on, my dear students, we are working on this equation right from 3-4 classes from including this session. We should be perfect enough to speak about this equation. Very good. Good, Archana. So this is indicating my ID. More specifically, this is my DC component. Capital VGS and capital VT indicates this term is related to a DC component. But since this is a drain current, this is talking about the DC drain current. This is talking about a DC drain current. Okay, and what about this now? This particular term, that is Kn into VGS minus VT the whole square into VGS, is saying that your AC drain current is directly proportional to your signal component. Is directly proportional to your signal component, nothing but your input signal VGS. So if your VGS increases, your AC current signal also increases. Okay, if your VGS decreases, then your AC component of a current signal is also going to decrease. What about this term? So this 1 by 2 times that of Kn into VGS square. So this is indicating, this third component is indicating an undesirable component, which is nothing but a non-linear distortion. Because it is directly the square of your applied signal. When I say it's the square of applied signal, it means that is a non-linear in nature. This is a distortion signal. Okay, this is a distortion signal. So if at all, if I want to eliminate, nullify the effect of your distortions in your signals, then what is that I need to do? So if at all, if I want to eliminate the distortions in case of your output signal, then I need to make sure that my 1 by 2 times that of whatever my distortion component is there, 1 by 2 times that of Kn into VGS square, VGS square should be much less than that of Kn into VGS minus VG, okay, into VGS, into VGS. Understanding? Is it clear to you? So now I am simply saying that if at all, if I want to eliminate, I don't want this term in my equation. If I don't want this term in my equation, then I should make sure this term 1 by 2 times set of Kn into VGS square, this term should be much less than that of Kn into VGS minus Vt into VGS. Now, what's that I need to do? Kn on each side will get cancelled. Okay? Kn will get cancelled. One VGS from this side, one VGS from this side will get cancelled. What is left out? Your VGS, this VGS, I'll send this 2 from my LHS to RHS. Will be much less than 2 times that of VGS minus VT. It simply means to say this VGS, should be much less than 2 times that of VOB. 2 times that of VOB. What does this mean? It simply means you go reverse. You say this equation reverse. What does it mean now? It means that your input signal, this is your input signal, right? So this is your input signal, VGS, a small VGS. These are AC input signal. So what is this saying now? It is saying that your VGS, your input signal applied between your gate to source should be such that it should be less than that of 2 times that of your overdrive voltage. 2 times that of overdrive voltage. Now, one step I want you people to understand this. I thought someone will raise a question during my interaction, but nobody as such has raised it. So if you see this equation, I'll keep both the equation for a reference. If you see this equation, what I've said here, 1 by 2 times that of Kn into VGS square. You see here, 1 by 2 times that of Kn into VGS square should be much less than, what is this term coming from? It's my second term, Kn VGS minus Vt the whole square into VGS. What I'm writing here, Kn into VGS minus Vt, that's all, square is not done, into VGS. Now why I am ignoring the square? Why I am ignoring the square? If you want for a proof, you go back to your numericals that you have solved. You see what is the difference? VGS minus VT. This difference, VGS minus VT, this difference is approximately equal to 1. It will be the band of 0.91, 95, 98. I can say approximately 1. Now what is 1 square? 1. It's a reason why I have ignored this square over here. Understanding? Because my 1 square will be equal to 1, because I know this difference cannot go greater than 1. Now, if it is so, then it means my VGS minus VT, which is nothing but VOB, can max takes a value of 1. So if at all it takes maximum value of 1, it means my VGS, my AC signal, has to be less than 2 volts. That's all. It's how you people need to understand this concept in depth. My VGS should be less than 2 volts. So if my VGS is less than 2 volts, it means to say my input VGS is a small signal. I hope you're able to understand this. My input VGS is a small signal. So this is a condition. This is a condition for my VGS to be a small signal. The condition for my VGS to be small signal is my VGS should be much less than that times 2 times that of VOB. So if this condition is matching, it means my input signal is a small signal. It's a very important topic. My VGS, it's a condition for my input signal to be a small signal. If it founds to be the reverse, then it's nowhere a small signal. It is treated as a large signal. It is treated as a large signal. Okay, is it clear to you? Okay, so now what we're going to do over here is, now since I know that in my circuitry I'm having two kinds of voltage sources, one a DC, one more an AC. So I can simply say over here my drain current ID, AC component as well as a DC component can be given by, now I had asked you people, what is this term representing? It is representing a DC component. Since this term is representing a DC component, how best I can write this? I can write this as capital ID, which was being responded by Archana. Now, if I take to the next term, what is this term indicating? Here, Kn into Vgs minus Vt whole square into Vgs. What is this term indicating? What's the second term indicating? Yes? What's the second term indicating? Yes, please answer me in a group chat. What is the second term indicating? Yes? Good. Your second term is indicating your small id. Okay, your small id. Okay, so now this combination, that AC-DC component is having a DC component ID plus an AC component ID. Since it's an AC component ID, I'm writing this as small I and small d. Okay, now I internally know that my I can say over here we know that my ID, okay, a small I small d is nothing but Kn into VGS minus VT into VGS, okay, into VGS. Now this ID and VGS relates to the MOSFET's transconductance. The parameter ID and VGS relates to the MOSFET's transconductance, nothing but GM. So I know how is the term been defined. The transconductance GM is been defined as ID divided by VGS. If I take ID by VGS, what has been left out? Left out is Kn into VGS minus VT. Now, what is this VGS minus VT? Answer in the group chat. What is your VGS minus VT? What is this term indicating? Yes, good, Puja. So this is indicating your VOV. So if I want to write my transconductance in terms of overdrive voltage, I can write this as Kn into VOV. Okay, so these two equations you will have to remember when you're solving numericals, they will help you out. So GM can be defined as Kn into VGS minus VT. This is one equation where I know my gate to source voltage and my threshold voltage. And over here, my GM is Kn into VOV, where VOV is the overdrive voltage. Okay, is it clear to you? Okay, so now I said you people that I'll make you understand this topic with the help of a graphical representation. So now it's trying to interact graphically the same concept so that your interaction towards this topic is too clear. Okay, so I'll just share a new link to you people because just 1 minute time is left out.